Hey, welcome to World Mind Hub. Subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for updates. Good evening. Tonight, we bring you breaking news that has sent shockwaves across the continent. In a move that has left both citizens and officials reeling, Canada has abruptly and without warning closed the Alaska Highway to all U.S.-bound and U.S.-originated traffic, effectively sealing off the only major land route connecting Alaska to the rest of the United States. Barricades have been erected at critical crossings, including Stewart, British Columbia, and Beaver Creek in the Yukon, where Canadian officers now stand guard, enforcing the closure with unwavering resolve. Vehicles attempting to cross are being turned away, regardless of their purpose or urgency, leaving travelers and commercial drivers stranded on both sides of the border. The Alaska Highway, once bustling with life and commerce, now lies eerily silent. Its sudden closure has left communities along its route in shock, with many residents expressing disbelief at how quickly their lifeline was severed. No advance warning was given to American or Alaskan authorities. Officials in Washington, D.C. and Juneau were caught completely off guard, scrambling to understand the reasons behind this unprecedented action. This is not a temporary closure due to weather or a minor diplomatic spat. Ottawa's decision is deliberate, sweeping, and signals a significant shift in policy. The impact has been immediate and severe. Truckers hauling essential goods are stranded, families on the move are stuck in limbo, and Alaskan businesses are suddenly facing a looming supply crisis as deliveries grind to a halt. The Alaska Highway is more than just a stretch of pavement. It's a vital symbol of U.S. Canada cooperation, a historic link forged during World War II, and a critical economic artery for both nations. Its closure is not only a direct blow to Alaska's economy and daily life, but also a bold geopolitical statement that has left analysts and citizens alike searching for answers. The Canadian government has so far remained silent, offering no official explanation. This silence is fueling anxiety and speculation on both sides of the border. Why would Canada, a nation renowned for its diplomacy and stable relations, take such a drastic and disruptive step? The world's media is abuzz, and global leaders are demanding answers. Behind closed doors, officials from both countries are engaged in urgent discussions, racing to uncover the motivations behind this move and to find a path toward resolution. The relationship between two of the world's closest allies is now under intense strain, with trust and cooperation hanging in the balance. As the world watches this unfolding crisis, all eyes are on North America, waiting anxiously to see what comes next and whether a solution can be found before the consequences deepen. The closure hit Washington like a thunderbolt, sending shockwaves through the city's power corridors. Overnight, the mood shifted from routine to crisis as the news spread with lightning speed. Disbelief quickly turned to alarm as confirmations poured in from multiple sources. Newsrooms buzzed with activity, reporters scrambling to verify details, and officials fielding frantic calls. The White House scrambled for answers. The National Security Council called an emergency meeting, gathering top advisors to assess the rapidly evolving situation and weigh possible responses. Former President Trump erupted on social media, calling Canada's move a betrayal and blaming the current administration for weakness. His posts, filled with outrage, quickly went viral, igniting fierce debate online and in political circles. He demanded immediate retaliation, while the administration issued a measured statement urging calm and dialogue. The president called for unity, but the nation's mood was anything but calm. Secretary of State Blinken was on the phone with Ottawa within hours, working to de-escalate tensions and seek clarification, as diplomats on both sides raced to prevent further fallout. The contrast between Trump's fury and the official response highlighted deep political divisions. Trump's supporters rallied behind his calls for action, while others urged restraint. Both parties agreed. The closure was unacceptable, but how to respond split sharply along partisan lines. Some lawmakers pushed for sanctions, while others warned against escalating the crisis. Calls for retaliation clashed with pleas for diplomacy, as demonstrators took to the streets and lawmakers argued late into the night. The crisis quickly became a political football, with blame flying in all directions and the nation anxiously awaiting the next move. In Ottawa, Premier Dana Chura addressed the nation with calm resolve. She confirmed the closure, calling it a difficult but necessary measure to defend Canadian interests. Chura cited ongoing trade disputes and what she called unfair U.S. tariffs as the reason. She expressed regret for the disruption, but insisted Canada had exhausted all diplomatic options. Chura's message: Canada will stand firm until its grievances are addressed. Her tone was measured, her resolve clear, a stark contrast to the heated rhetoric from Washington. Behind the scenes, Canadian officials stressed this was a targeted response, not a bluff. The closure is a high-stakes gamble, betting that pressure on Alaska will force Washington back to the table. Chura's quiet confidence signals a long standoff may be ahead. The closure of the Alaska Highway marks the dramatic peak of years of escalating trade tensions between the United States and Canada. What began as minor disagreements over tariffs and quotas has now erupted into a full-blown crisis, with both sides digging in their heels. At the heart of this conflict are two iconic Canadian exports: softwood lumber and maple syrup. These products are more than just commodities. They're symbols of national pride, economic strength, and, increasingly, points of contention that have come to define the strained relationship between the two neighbors. When the U.S. imposed steep tariffs on Canadian lumber, it sent shockwaves through the industry. Outrage erupted across Canada, with workers and business owners feeling the sting of higher costs and lost jobs. The Canadian government responded with its own measures, escalating the trade war and deepening the rift. Even maple syrup, a sweet staple for which Canada is the world's undisputed leader, has become a battleground. Disputes over market access and pricing have turned this beloved product into a symbol of the broader struggle for fair trade and respect. The latest round of harsh U.S. tariffs, especially those targeting lumber, proved to be the breaking point. For many Canadians, it felt like an attack on their livelihoods and their national identity. In Ottawa, frustration mounted as officials saw their concerns repeatedly dismissed by Washington. The sense of being cornered grew, with entire communities and industries now at risk. Diplomatic efforts to resolve the dispute stalled, leaving both sides at an impasse. Tensions rose as negotiations broke down and trust eroded. The closure of the Alaska Highway is not just a symbolic gesture, it's a calculated act of economic self-defense. By blocking this vital route, Canada is sending a clear message that it will no longer tolerate being pushed aside. With this bold move, Canada is forcing the United States to confront its grievances head-on and return to the negotiating table with genuine intent. The decision is risky and unprecedented, but it signals that the era of business as usual is over. Canada is standing up for itself, no matter the cost. Now, the world is watching closely as two of North America's closest allies face off in a high-stakes showdown that could reshape their relationship for years to come. Canada's closure of the Alaska Highway is a strategic strike, not a rash outburst. Years of U.S. tariffs have battered Canadian industries, and Ottawa's protests have gone unanswered. The highway, vital to Alaska but running through Canada, is a unique point of leverage. By shutting it down, Canada targets a U.S. vulnerability, hoping to force Washington to the negotiating table. The move is disruptive, but stops short of outright hostility. A calculated escalation. The highway's closure is a powerful symbol. The partnership is under strain. Canada is drawing a line, demanding respect and a fair deal. The hope is that this shock will finally break the deadlock. The Alaska Highway is Alaska's lifeline, its only land link to the lower 48. Built in World War II, it's a marvel of engineering and a symbol of U.S.-Canada partnership. Most of Alaska's goods, food, medicine, building supplies arrive via this route. The closure throws supply chains into chaos, trucks halted, shelves threatened, costs rising. For Alaskans, the highway is essential for travel, family, and business. The closure isolates Alaska as never before, creating a sense of vulnerability. For Canadian border towns, the loss of American travelers means economic pain. The highway's closure reveals just how deeply the two nations depend on each other. It's not just a road, it's a shared lifeline, now severed. The consequences are immediate and profound. Alaska's economy is reeling. Businesses face supply shortages, construction delays, and a tourism slump. Truckers are stranded, losing money by the hour. Canadian border towns, reliant on American travelers, are seeing revenues plummet. Small businesses on both sides are hit hard. Families and workers are stuck in limbo, plans upended. The closure isn't just a headline, it's disrupting lives and livelihoods. The human cost is mounting, with stories of separation and hardship emerging. The crisis is no longer abstract, it's painfully real for thousands. The world is watching as two close allies face off over a closed highway. The U.S. Canada relationship, long a model of cooperation, is suddenly in question. International observers worry this could set a precedent for more aggressive trade retaliation worldwide. Canada's leverage goes beyond the highway. It supplies energy, controls key shipping routes, and shares deep security ties with the U.S. The closure is a reminder of mutual dependence and the risks of escalation. The political drama is under the global microscope, with leadership styles and national resolve on display. This is more than a trade spat. It's a test of alliance in a changing world. How the crisis is resolved will send a message far beyond North America. Diplomacy, not brinkmanship, is urgently needed. As the closure drags on, the costs, human and economic, are mounting. Business groups, governors, and premiers are pleading for a swift resolution. Allies urge dialogue, warning that using critical infrastructure as leverage is dangerous. The crisis underscores the need for sensible, respectful relations between neighbors. The U.S. and Canada share more than a border. Their destinies are intertwined. Leadership must prioritize problem-solving over posturing. The Alaska Highway must reopen, not just for commerce, but as a symbol of restored trust. The world is watching, hoping for diplomacy to prevail.